Hello and welcome to my channel today. We'll be talking about something very pertinent today, and I've just tried to prepare a video, so it's going to be the very first video on that particular topic, and it's going to be in forms of volume. So today we'll be having volume 1 and so on and so forth. So the whole caption of the whole project that we are running from now to the end of the volumes will be called career and college readiness. So we'll be looking at what it all entails to be a career and a college ready person, a career and a college ready student. So I'll encourage you all to stay tuned. If you're just coming in new or you're watching my video for the very first time, please do click the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you keep on getting our videos each time they are put up. Okay, that being said, I want us to dive directly into the talk for the day. So what is the meaning of a college ready person or a career ready person? So it's simple, you can't go to maybe a school if you don't know the location of the school, and so that is the mindset with which I want us to have. So if you are aiming to have a great career, maybe take a course in a master's program, to maybe have a PhD, then that's the vision, that is where you're going to. And how prepared are you to get there? And so it comes that solves the problem of the readiness. If you're a student who wants to integrate into post-secondary institutions, how prepared are you? What are the things you are doing that are putting you on that trajectory to getting to that institution? If you want to apply to Harvard University, you want to apply to Oxford University, you want to apply to Pratt University, whatsoever university you choose, how and what are you doing to put you on that trajectory to get to your dreams? And so today we'll be talking a little bit about it. For the first part, we'll be looking at setting the goals and the expectations. Volume 1 today is setting the goals and the expectations, and do stay tuned at the end. If you enjoy the video, you should be able to maybe come back later to see when we've uploaded something, and then you can go and watch the others. So today we'll be talking about the goals and the expectations. So if you are planning to take on your career, to embark on your academic journey, get into an undergraduate program, get into a master's program, get into a PhD program, get a job, get whatsoever you want to in your career, what are your goals and your expectations? You should be able to set those goals and expectations. That is, you set the goal. Today I'm going to pick a job, tomorrow I'm going to read this book, tomorrow I'm going to do this, and at the end of the day, what are the expectations? What are the outcomes? What are you doing to track yourself? So the very first foundation for you, a student, for you who is searching for a career, is the academics. You must have a good performance academically. Yes, I know there are people who are going to say, oh, then we did not perform well, but we still have people who have not been performing well and they have good and great careers, they have good and this. Yes, it's true. It is true that there are cases like that. But if you are planning to go far, please, you would want to take your education and your studies seriously. Those people ended up having maybe a poor grade, but they did not have no grade at all. That means they got something, at least something small, and that's what we are saying. So you must be able to take your academics seriously. Now, what are the programs you're doing? How are your programs you're doing matching up with what you want to do in the university? Do they match up with what you want to do at the master's program or at the PhD program? The research you want to carry out, how is what you're studying right now tied with the research you want to do at the level of PhD? What you are into, the kind of small businesses you are doing, the kind of small jobs you're doing, how do they all tailor to a bigger job tomorrow? And so you must be looking at those things. Your academics, if you're a student, your academics should come first. Those are your priorities. That is a fact that we cannot deny. And so the attendance, are you attending your classes regularly? Your course completion, are you completing your courses? The course certification and graduation, have you had the certification? Have you graduated a class? Do you have your ordinary level? Do you have your advanced level? Do you have your bachelor's degree? What are those things you're doing? How high are you giving yourself? What grades are you planning to score? Are you planning to score A grades? Are you planning to score A stars? Are you planning to score B grades? Those things do count a lot, because when you drop your application for studies, post-secondary studies, or even for a job tomorrow, those are some of the things your employers will be looking at. How good were you in school? So you would want to get your academics right. Now, the second thing we'll be talking about today, which is very pertinent, because for career, at least most of us Africans, we know already that your careers should be your priority. But what are some of the things we are lacking in that is maybe taking us out of the job market, taking us out of the competition when it comes to integrating big schools out there? We talk about the employability skills. We are not picking up enough employability skills. That's the truth. As Africans, we are not picking up a lot of employability skills. And so if you're planning to get into a modern day university, a modern day institution, a modern day career, a modern day job, you should be able to pick up certain skills that will allow you to adapt with no problems. What are some of those things that will permit you to adapt with no problems? We'll look at them briefly. You also need to integrate yourself into extracurricular activities. You need to put yourself in solving community problems. You need to serve the community. Those are some of the things that will give you a well-rounded education, will give you a well-rounded application, so that when you drop it somewhere, your job employer, your university officers will have enough information about you, enough things about you that they can actually harness and use. Believe you me, when I finished the university, all I had was just my bachelor's attestation from the University of Boy. That's all I had, a certificate. That was all. There was no other thing I had. There was no experience I had. There was no volunteerism experience I had. There was just nothing. There were no computer skills I had picked, and it affected me a lot. And I had to take some time and really go through these things, grab these skills. So what are some of the skills I'm advising young people, Africans, to get alongside their education? Communication skills is an employability skill. The communication skills. Now, you should be able to communicate fluently. You should be able to communicate objectively. And you should be able to communicate clearly. Someone should be able to hear. Someone should be able to understand what you are saying. Someone should be able to get the message clearly. Should know the facts you are putting on the ground. Even if you want to pursue whatever career, you need to get communication skills. Another important skill you should be thinking about are ICT skills. ICT skills. We are living in a world where everything is about the computer, computer programs. It's all about technology, and so you should be able to get those skills, because if you're admitted into a university and you get to class and they're using a video chat, we're even in an era where it's all about online learning and stuff like that. How do you cope if you don't get those skills? How do you cope if you get to an office and you're required to do a presentation, a video presentation maybe, or a talk, and you don't have those ICT skills? So you must be able to get those skills. Now, also look at your personality. How do you grow? What are some of the things you need to get personally for yourself? You need to be able to get leadership and organizational skills, because those very pertinent. Small things are very pertinent. You want to know what leadership is all about. You want to know how, if you're put in a leadership position, it's all going to get down, because at times some of the post-secondary institutions will ask you what or put you in a role of a leader, and will want you to give solutions to a particular problem. And so if you don't get those things, how then are you going to effectively be able to integrate that community? So I'm going to put up a video which talks about leadership, just leadership, and then to help the youth so that we know what it's all about and how we can get ourselves involved in the leadership process. Now, the importance of community service. Community service is one of those extracurricular areas where employers, where universities are always looking at. What are some of those things as a youth you've been able to do in your community? Because at times we say, oh, after my studies, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a project where I'll help this person or help that person. I'll start a project on working on one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. But then, what have you been doing? What have you been doing all through your academics? You studied for 7 good years from Form 1 to opposite. What have you been doing? What community problem have you been able to solve? You've left university, you've had your first job, your second job. What impact are you making in the society? Because then it's not all about you in the capacity you hold. Maybe you are a medical doctor, maybe you are a teacher, maybe you are an engineer, but it's not all about that. It's about what impact you are leaving in the community. And so you must be able to gain knowledge and gain experience in things like this. And how do you get experience and knowledge on things like this? By getting involved with already existing actors in the society, existing actors in community service, NGOs, associations, individuals who are tackling particular problems. You can look at the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It's known as the 17 SDGs. You can go online, you check them out, and then you see which one you think you can be able to work on. I'm also going to put up a video which talks about tackling those goals. How do you effectively go about tackling those goals? So you see, ladies and gentlemen, these are just some of the few things you should be able to get as far as building up yourself, adding to the academic profile that you already hold. Because I know most of you have your good academic profiles, you have good grades, very high points, but then the society we live in, it's not all about the academics. Yes, the academics is very necessary, but it's not only about the academics. You need to get those other skills. You need to be able to manage things. You need to be able to organize programs. Now, you also have the issue of volunteerism. It's a very, very salient point. Volunteerism and internships. I'll paint a scenario. Now, you have two young people who are in the university. Now, the first person is in the university studying for a 3 years program and does just their university program, attends classes regularly, does everything perfectly. On the other hand, we have a young person who is in the same program, 3 years program, but adding to their 3 years in the university, he or she is taking volunteerism activities during holidays, maybe in the evenings when he's free, doing internships during their breaks and all of that. After 3 good years, the two candidates graduate. You have both of them and they deposit their application somewhere for a job. Now, as an employer, which one are you going to take? Maybe the one who was just taking his studies has a good GPA, a 3.5 GPA, but then no experience, nothing. And on the other hand, you have someone maybe with a GPA of 3.1 and there's a pile of experience. There is a folder of experience in terms of internships, in terms of the jobs the person has been able to get, holiday jobs, in terms of volunteerism under a lot and lot of associations. And so you see how heavy this issue of volunteerism and internships become. So you should be able to work around those skills. You should be able to identify those things and pick them up. So ladies and gentlemen, there are just a lot of things we'll be looking at as far as being ready for your career and being ready for your education is concerned. You also have the issue of sports, the issue of music, your talents. What are those things you can be able to do apart from being in a school? You should be able to exploit other opportunities. There are some young people who are good at swimming, good at football, good at handball, good at playing musical instruments, the drum set, the piano, etc. How do you grow that skill? How do you tailor that skill in your application process so that it suits what you're doing? So these are all things you should be able and you should be doing to make you ready for your career. If you have not been doing these things before, please start thinking right now. As an African youth, you should start thinking right now about them, because you get the academics and then at the end of the day, you don't have good offers, you don't have good scholarship offers, you don't get good job opportunities. You apply for a job overseas, you can't get it. You apply for a job at home, you cannot get it because then your application is not heavy. And so ladies and gentlemen, if this video was helpful to you, please do subscribe and hit on that notification bell. Like I said, this is just volume 1 and I would like you guys to stay tuned. I'm giving you a rendezvous for volume 2. In volume 2, we'll be looking at, now you've had the goals and the expectations, you've known what you're supposed to be doing and maybe you've started doing it, but how do you track yourself so that you remain on the trajectory? So on volume 2, we'll be looking at how to keep yourself on the track, how to stay on that pathway, how to evaluate yourself, how to reflect on what you're doing and see that they meet up with your goals and expectations at the end of the day. So bye bye, and I'll see you in next video.